I have returned with some very exciting details on Pokemon Legends Arceus. Back on topic of the leaks, which I actually talked about a little bit in my last video where I analyzed the trailer and then a little bit of the leaks for Pokemon Legends Arceus. I actually have a lot more details now and have taken a closer look at a lot of these leaks. I have seen some takes about the translation of these articles here. And I'm going to give credit to the one integral who first pointed out these translations, and I can actually confirm some of these because I actually know how to read katakana and hiragana. I know a little bit of kanji, so I know a little bit of Japanese, but not a lot. Like, I'm definitely not fluid in Japanese or anything. I'm definitely beginner level, but I'd spent about a year learning Japanese at one point. Either way, we're gonna look at these here and I'm gonna tell you some more details about them that are actually super interesting because they just confirm a lot of things that, especially for me, I really want out of this game. So first thing we're gonna look at here is this picture of Rhydon. And in this picture, with your player character and Rhydon, we see here this is actually your Rhydon. This shows right here, it says Saidon, which is the Japanese name for Rhydon. And I can read that because it's actually katakana right there. So I can confirm that that, in fact, is Rhydon's name right here in Japanese. And this is where we know from that other image that I showed in the last video that this is where your Pokemon's information is displayed. The enemy Pokemon's information will be displayed in the upper right side of the screen. And also the enemies doesn't show levels, at least from what we've seen so far. But this one definitely does. It shows here level 60 or 80, I can't really tell. But yes, so that means this Rhydon here is yours. We threw this out into the overworld, which is so exciting in the first place because I definitely want to have my Pokemon out with me in this big expansive world that they've created. And here we also see we have some command prompts. And the one integral actually said that these look like pictures and not actually script, but I can confirm to you because I know katakana, hiragana, and some kanji that these are in fact script. This is probably a kanji here. This is definitely a kanji down here, but this is probably a kanji here. I don't know what it means, but I know that this is a kanji because this right here is the hiragana for u, and or it's su, actually. I'm a little rusty, but I'm pretty sure this one's u. And so I know for a fact that you can have a kanji and it ends with the hiragana right after and it makes a word. So right here, for instance, this is the kanji for something and it looks like this is saying geru right here, geru. So these are definitely words here that tell you what you're doing with the interaction. If anybody knows kanji, please tell me what these say because I can only read the hiragana, but you can't deduce what the word is based on just that. I'm pretty sure I remember that to be an action of sorts. I'm assuming this will mean cancel out or put back into your Pokeball in to some capacity, some sort of wording for that. And up here, I'm going to assume is an interaction button. And this probably means something along the lines of interact because, as we'll see later, I'm pretty sure it's confirmed that we'll be able to ride on certain Pokemon, surf with certain Pokemon, glide with certain Pokemon, and climb with certain Pokemon. The surfing may or may not be confirmed because we don't even have a screenshot of that, but the other three I'm pretty sure we have screenshots of. So I'll talk about that more later though when we see it. One thing I want to point out is the Pokemon scaling. I am kind of scared because it looks like Rhydon might be smaller than the trainer here. So I'm not sure if they're going to scale all the Pokemon properly, but Rhydon might not actually be that tall. I don't know if Rhydon's as tall as, say, Tyranitar or anything like that. So we still don't know for sure how that is going to work out, but hopefully they scale the Pokemon properly with their sizes because Sword and Shield did not do that and it was very awkward looking. So over here we see a battle. I'm not gonna... This is basically this word up here. According to the one integral, this has been translated to say that this is basically explaining how battles are seamless in the overworld. And apparently what you do is you just throw your Pokemon out into the overworld and it will automatically enter a sort of battle stance with whatever Pokemon is attacking you. So the thing is, actually, in this caption, apparently it's saying that the wild Pokemon can attack your player character, which does, in fact, explain the dodge roll, because that dodge roll that we saw in the trailer very clearly looked like a get out of the way type of roll. It was not a kind of roll that makes you seem like you're gonna go faster or something, say like Link's roll in The Legend of Zelda. And it's not a dash either. You would think they would be doing dashes right now if you wanted to go faster, because they're definitely following suit from Breath of the Wild. So a dodge roll is definitely, that makes way more sense for it. It's that the wild Pokemon will attack your player character. And I'm assuming your Pokemon are sort of your survivalist instrument to avoid your player character from being, you know, killed or fainting, I guess would be the Pokemon term. I'm sure you'll black out and be taken to, you know, the town or whatever check mark or something. So that's very interesting. Also, I didn't touch on this too much, but it does very much look like this right here at the bottom right is a boss Pokemon. We see a health meter up here, and this might be it being attacked by something. Because we've seen a picture of like Lucario. It's not this fight here, but in the video, the trailer for Legends Arceus, we've seen Lucario kick, I think it was a Garchomp at the time, and the Garchomp looked like it flashed yellow like this. Maybe our player character had some way of attacking this Pokemon right here, this boss Pokemon, because it's attacking. This here translates to king. I think this says king boss, because this right here says king. And then I think that kanji right next to it is boss. Alright, but moving on, because that's already some really cool revelations, the fact that this is our Rhydon out here. We're gonna move back into this, and of course this goes with the whole, you know, dodge roll. This is stuff we've already seen. I also want to point out this tree here looks a lot like the berry trees from Sword and Shield. I really hope they don't have a useless or a very tedious kind of function like those games, and I hope that they animate them and make them look like they fit with the environments, unlike the trees in Sword and Shield. This one looks like it might be trying because it has two different colors, but then again it doesn't fit with this environment, so I don't know exactly what's going on with that. I hope they don't all look like this and are scattered all around the world. That won't make very much sense and it'll break realism. Not that we need realism, but we at least need things to make sense, right? Things to be, you know, fluid and congruent in a world that they build. But anyways, looking at these pictures again, I want to take the time to point out that these are all silhouettes, and they seem very much purposely made to be silhouettes. So this is probably, what people have said is this looks like a PowerPoint presentation. That's probably confirmed by this as well right here, unless this is some sort of software someone used to capture this screened image that might be for our magazine clipping or something. But this might be like a PowerPoint presentation of sorts, and I just want to say these Pokemon are very purposely silhouetted for this presentation or this magazine clipping, and I want to say it's because these are placeholder silhouettes for what actual Pokemon will be there, meaning I think we'll have a variety of Pokemon that we can ride, for instance, a variety of Pokemon that can climb the mountains with us in this little basket, for instance, and also a variety of Pokemon that can carry us, probably as a glide. We probably don't want to fly high up or anything. So that's important as well. Although I will say this looks very much like, I think the Pokemon is Braviary. Like this looks like a one-to-one comparison of a silhouette for that. But these other two just don't look like one-to-one comparisons for anyone. Unless this is some sort of new evolution for Stantler. And maybe this looks kind of like Nuzleaf, but I don't think Nuzleaf's that tall, so I don't know what's going on with that. But yeah, we also take a look at the menus. I don't know if I can, oh, I can zoom in that close, okay. You can also see the menus here. I think I pointed out, this looks like L, R, X, and over on the left, do we see the menus over on the left on these ones? No, okay, but we'll see, here we go. And over on the left here, it looks like these are the arrows from the D-pad. And these, I'm not sure what these are, maybe commands with A and B. But I don't know. I don't want to speak too much on that. It's all just baseless conjecture. I do want to point out, though, something I didn't notice the first time is that this right here is, actually I did notice this, I'm sorry. I did notice this the first time and thought maybe this was proof that these might be fake because it looks like Death Mountain, and you know, Death Mountain usually has a little cloud over it. But this might actually prove that it's real because this resembles the cloud that goes over Mount Coronet when Giratina is present around there. So maybe we might see some Giratina action in this. So that would be very interesting and very cool. As for these menus, I think I want to dissect these. If I do want to dissect these, I'll do it in a separate video because it's going to take a lot of time to really start to come up with what these might mean. I think someone pointed out this might be a bag right here, and we'll probably see it clear in some other images, but I don't know what all these are. It's too blurry to tell, so I don't want to get into that. Oh, someone did point out, though. I think it actually was still that same YouTuber, the one, what's his name? The One Integral, that pointed out that these yellow things right here might be the actions that are taking place with the Pokemon that you're on. But I don't want to confirm that or deny it. They do look a little different each time, so maybe that's accurate, but who can really tell, right? So we'll just move on from that for now. Oh, here's the menu. Well, look, I already had them close up, but yeah, here's the menus closer up, but you still really can't tell. Now the last thing is that people have started drawing these, some like what these Pokemon might look like underneath this flash, because this is a boss type. For all we know, this is a new Pokemon. If it actually does look like this, then it definitely is a new Pokemon. But that's neither confirmed nor denied, because this might actually be, a theory of mine is that this might actually be two different Pokemon at once. One might be attacking the other and they're all flashing yellow. But then again, the Lucario didn't flash yellow in that clip on the video, so who's to really say, right? Either way, the biggest thing is definitely the fact that we are going to be able to throw our Pokemon out, and this is probably the interaction method. Pressing the A button with the Pokemon instead of the B button to put them back into the Pokeball is probably the interaction method that will lead us to being able to, you know, glide with one, or climb with one, or ride on one. I'm really hoping that's the case, and that would be super duper cool. That's really what I want most out of this game that we haven't seen so far, or haven't had confirmed through trailers yet so far. I think they probably haven't shown this yet. If this is actually in the game, the reason I think they haven't shown it to us is because they don't want to completely outshine the Diamond and Pearl remakes, because it's very obvious that this is very much the bigger and more detailed game compared to the Diamond and Pearl remakes. And so they don't want to oversell this and make the Diamond and Pearl remakes look just completely, you know, out of the question for anyone to buy by comparison. Although, for people like me, it already is kind of out of the question. I don't really care for the remakes because they look more like remasters, and I'm not really interested in getting some sort of up-resed remaster of the same exact game after waiting for 15 years. You know, for me, I'd rather just play the original. I like the art style of the original better compared to this slightly up-resed version that we're getting on Switch. It doesn't look as HD as Link's Awakening does, and that's my main issue with it. Like, the character models look very untexturized, and the backgrounds look very low quality and very, what's the word, like pixelated? Like it's a low resolution or something, you know, it's not even that up-resed compared to the original, or, well, it is compared to the original, but not compared to other Switch games. Anyways, I'm not here to talk about the Diamond and Pearl remakes, but yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to mainly talk about, though, was this whole mechanic of having your Pokemon out that I think we're gonna get. I'm really hoping we're gonna get it. I would be really excited for that, and that's, like I said, that's what I want most. But what do you guys think? Like, I want to hear what you guys have to say about this. Again, I'm so intrigued with this game, and this is my first time being this excited for a Pokemon game since, gosh, I think since Gen 4 originally released. Like, I remember being so hyped for those games. Like Pokemon Colosseum, Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, and Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver were my most exciting Pokemon games for me pre-release until this game. So I'm really, really, really excited to see more about it, but I don't think we're going to see more about it until after we see more about the Diamond and Pearl remakes, or possibly even the release of those. I do think that they're going to end up delaying this game as well. I think early 2022 is their way of getting us to get excited for it, and then they're going to purposely delay it because they know they're not going to have it out by that time, to show us that they will delay Pokemon games now for quality, because that's something that fans have been kind of clamoring for. Is like, why don't you guys start delaying your games so that we can have quality games? And they haven't done that, right? So I think this will be their way of actually just solidifying to us, like, hey, look guys, we'll actually delay this game so that it can be the best we can possibly make, just like other Nintendo properties that you've seen have done so in the past, like Breath of the Wild. It would be very appropriate. I find that kind of funny. So if I were you guys, I wouldn't get too excited for an early 2022 release date for this game. But then again, they could surprise us. If they actually are able to get this game out by then, props to them, because this seems like a lot of work, especially to do in just a year. Video game development usually takes like 2 or 3 years, and from what we've seen in the footage, it looked like they had just started this. I could be wrong, because sometimes the biggest parts of making a game are just the planning and not the actual putting together of assets. So we'll see. We'll really see. If they have everything already laid out and planned and they're just putting together the assets now, then yeah, they'll definitely have it done within the year. But again, like I said, let me know what you guys think. I'm so curious. I want to talk more about this. I want to interact more about this with this game. It's just really grabbed my interest. I'm kind of infatuated with it right now. Every day I've been thinking, man, I can't wait for that new Pokemon game to come out, and that's just such a good feeling that it feels so new to me. It feels new again because I haven't had this feeling in so long. But yeah, what do you guys think about this? Do you think that these translations are actually correct? Can you actually read these translations? Does anybody know for sure? Because right now it's all just, I don't know. I don't have conclusions. I don't know if we have actual facts. Like, these might be fake. And then the translations that the one Integral pointed out might not be the actual real translations, because he didn't give any sources. So very curious about that. Either way, if you guys like this video, please take a look at some of my other videos. I have plenty of videos on my channel. I have a really cool Smash Brothers show. It's a Machinima series. I have some Bayonetta Smash Brothers montages. I have more Pokemon videos. I have some top 10s lists. Yeah, definitely check them out. I got plenty for you here. So subscribe and take a look. Also, please, to help the algorithms, because I swear they hate me, just leave a thumbs up on this video and all the videos that you watch, please. That would be awesome. But until next time, guys, I hope you have a great day, and I hope you're as excited as I am for this. Later.